Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to Lucky Lotus. My name's Brijesh.
My name is Jimmy.
I'm Tre. I think I should put the glasses on.
We all forgot to put our glasses on. We're off to a hot start for the 4th of July episode, so thanks for tuning in. Tre's our special guest this week. We're going to be going over the 4th of July and the 249th anniversary of America, which we're being told is called what? What's the 249th anniversary called?
The 4th of July? Well, the quintessential?
The Quintessentennial.
Quintessentennial. Oh.
Quintessentennial. We're going to work it.
Wow, you just got all of us.
We're going to make it through. So
we're going to discuss this.
We're off to a hot start. Believe it or not, this is take number 2, and we're going to make it through this episode. So this is episode 17 coming at you live from the Lucky Lotus podcast. Apple, Spotify, podcasts, where you find podcasts, X, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, TikTok,
not OnlyFans.
YouTube,
yet. YouTube. Unless OnlyFans starts dishing out, we will be on OnlyFans, but not yet.
Brijesh is on Only Toes.
Only Toes. We talked about this. Tune in actually every single episode we've talked.
Yeah, we'll
about
have to see what the chat said about your fit last week.
God, get off of my fit. This week I'm rocking.
All right.
What am I rocking? The American flag, got the
That's
American
enough.
headband.
It's enough of the novelty. These glasses are quite hot. Is your face hot where the glasses were?
No, I just can't see it all.
Mine are sweating. My eyebrows are sweating. I should have deodorized them like Brijesh told me to.
Did I?
Deodorize your eyes?
But I do want to say this shout out to Jimmy. He got me a new merch. This flag is amazing.
The new
love wearing
fit.
it.
Shout out 4th of July. Shout out America.
Shout out 4th of July. Trey scared me because he said it's against federal law to wear the flag. And
I'm glad you finished that sentence. You said Trey scared me.
Yeah, Trey scared. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, well, there is something where you're not supposed to wear it in a certain way. Like the founding fathers did not intend for you to drip it over. So if you think about it, you're kind of making fun of the founding fathers by wearing the flag.
There's no way. I
Really
love America. I love the U.S. I bleed red for
Red,
my country.
white, and blue.
If I was bleeding white and blue,
All right.
we got to see somebody.
Let me put y'all game. What does the red stand for on the American flag?
The blood of our soldiers or something?
That's right. What does the white stand for?
Purity of our cause?
No, it stands for peace.
Okay.
But there's more red stripes than white stripes because there's been more blood spilt for the country than peace. There's similar to why you have the olive branch and the arrows. The olive branches, we're going to give you the olive branch. If you don't want it, here come the arrows.
Nerd alert. Chat.
What's the blue stand for?
Let me take a good guess at it.
Okay, we'll do it.
Blue, does that symbolize freedom?
No, it symbolizes the Union, hence the 50 stars.
Well, back then we didn't have 15 stars.
We're coming for you, Puerto Rico. We're coming for you.
Eventually, and Canada.
Yeah, and Canada, 52.
You know what? Let's get Mexico too while we're at it.
Maybe get a piece of India. What do you think?
They'd be so glad. Wouldn't India would be very glad to be part of America. I think so. That's a hot take. But I think India would be very happy.
We need the count to keep Social Security and the debt interest above. So if we Social Security sized all of them and then got the money back.
Maybe not all of India, maybe Punjab. I think Punjab would be ecstatic
to
be American.
Well, for all of us who are not Indian, what is the Punjab joke there? Are you making fun of the Punjabis?
No, I'm Punjabi. There's no way I'd be making fun of my own people.
Okay. Well,
my people are American. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Not to make fun of anybody, but what's the Mississippi and Arkansas of India?
Okay, I'm looking at
the states
my research
everyone always
here.
hates on.
Okay, so I would have to say the Mississippi and Arkansas. Okay, Arkansas isn't that bad. Mississippi though, it's by far horrible. Mississippi.
I don't know about that.
Trey, what's your favorite part of India?
I don't know, but you said Punjabi.
That's north. That's like north near Kashmir, where they fight.
Is there any relation to like the MC Punjabi, the one that did the song with Jay-Z?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Trey, cool. What are you on?
Trey,
I love that.
Trey just pulled up from the logo with an Indian fact on you. What's your best Indian fact?
Gandhi wasn't that great.
All right. Heard, chat. Well, back to the America First episode that we've got going.
America First. No, I love this country.
No, we're celebrating the USA.
Yeah.
And our allies.
And they're lucky to be our allies because Daddy Trump said so.
Yeah. 249th. So we're going to move into a segment called My Roman Empire, where we're all going to talk something, one fun fact we like about the United States. So who would like to go first?
Trey.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, well, I just want to confidently say not me. Like, what the hell?
No, my fun fact is, did you guys know that the United States of America consumes $150 million worth of hot dogs every 4th of July?
No, I didn't know that. That's
How much?
$150 million worth of hot dogs.
$1 million
Of glizzies.
of glizzies.
Why'd you put it like
Can
that?
we get the weight of the hot dogs that are consumed? I did see, speaking of hot dogs, Joey Chestnut is back at Coney Island to defend his Nathan's hot dog record because last year he got a sponsorship with
yeah.
Beyond Meat and they wouldn't let him compete.
What? Because it was just too good.
No, because he was with a
was down
competitor.
those glizzies?
It would be like if you were in a Coke drinking contest and you
Yeah.
got sponsored by Pepsi. They're direct competitors of each other. And like, you know, non-dairy and non-meat products have a growing market share that are taking away from the meat market
I
share.
didn't know it was that deep.
Yeah, so like how many people can you compete with if you start a hot dog brand? A ton. If you
Yeah.
start a hot dog alternative brand, there's not a lot of competition.
So here's my lack of hot dog knowledge. I always think all meat is like from Tyson.
No.
No.
I mean, there's like 5 companies that do make all the meat in America.
Yeah.
How deep do you want to get into it? And
The
41% of all of them are owned by Vanguard and BlackRock.
Yeah, straight and what is it? BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right?
Yeah, who's the black-haired guy that was on Joe Rogan that goes over the conspiracy theories? He was just talking about this. He does this where he shows you a picture of an aisle and he'll color them all who owns what company.
Ian Carroll.
Ian
Carroll,
Ian,
yeah.
I love shout out Ian Carroll. He's amazing.
Shout out Ian Carroll. Tag him in the pod. We love Ian Carroll.
Yeah, he apparently he's an industry plant. I don't believe so, but he does excellent journalist work. I love the conspiracies he's brought up.
All right, let's go to Burjesh's. But before, we're going to go through the list. Trey, Brijesh, me. How do you like your hot dog? What's your perfect dog?
Honestly, I just like a regular grilled dog with no condiments.
No condiments.
I'm really weird with sauces, man.
I
I'm
like
really
mine
weird with
raw.
sauces.
You like yours a raw hot dog?
Dude.
Okay.
I like mine cooked.
Shout
I like mine
out.
cooked, but when it comes to condiments, I get a little creative with it. Of course, the classic mustard, ketchup, and then maybe relish, 100% relish if it's available.
Do both of you guys eat relish?
I eat a ton of relish. It's just pickles ground
You
up.
guys are sick.
You hate a pickle? You hate a big
I
pickle?
like pickles, but I just
No,
don't
I
like
don't
pickle
blame you.
relish.
It's a specific because it's a weird taste. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that everyone should like. It's
That's all you putting on your dog?
what do you
Just
put on your
relish
dog?
only?
My dog?
Not okay, maybe.
My
I'm not
favorite-
gonna lie to you, maybe relish only.
My favorite hot dog is a $1.50 Costco hot dog, the inflation buster. And I'm going to put
big boom.
ketchup, mustard, and relish because those are the free condiments it gives me.
Yeah,
I like
I think that's why I
like a little
relish
diced
from Costco.
onion. A close second for me would be the Coney footlong dog at Sonic.
You know what? And that's trying to like if you really want
The
to get
regular
into
one or
it.
chili cheese?
Chili cheese.
Chili cheese is awesome. Chili
You
cheese
think
is awesome.
I'm just getting a footlong dog at Sonic? That's like a watch list thing to do. Be like, yeah, no chili cheese on my Coney.
just a,
Yeah,
just a raw dog.
Just a regular hot dog. Just a footlong dollar dog.
So how many in pounds? How many hot dogs do you consume in a year?
Oh, in a year or on 4th of July?
How about just on the 4th of July?
4th of July, that's 15 million pounds.
Oh,
Or 6,800 metric tons.
so that's 15 million pounds or 6,800 metric tons of hot dogs. How many truckloads is that? I'm kidding. I'm gonna have to stop.
Dude, we have a fact checker that's
Yeah.
related to Brijesh, and now we're just really getting after
Yeah.
it. Each
Use
truck,
that subscription.
a truckload that can go on the road is 44,000 pounds per DOT.
Oh, I love
So do the math.
I'm not gonna do that.
341 truckloads.
There we go.
And those are
Glizzies.
those are
Yeah,
50,
raw glizzies.
52 feet apiece. So you do the math.
That's a lot of glizzies.
Brijesh, without AI, what's the volume on that?
A lot.
What's your favorite 4th of July fact?
So my 4th of July fact is it has to do with July 4th itself. Oh yeah, of course we're in July 4th. But the fact surround what am I losing my words for? So on this day, 3 of our most famous founding fathers died. Not on the same day, or they all died on the same day, but not the same year. Oh, never mind.
2 were the same year.
Actually, 2 were the same year. Oh my God. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, both founding fathers of America, they both died on July 4th. And then a president that died in 1831 was James Monroe. So that's my favorite fact. It's That's how patriotic they were. That they died on July 4th. That's not. How can you be any more patriotic than that?
Fun fact about James Monroe, he liberated and made the country of Liberia, so the capital of Liberia is Monrovia.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's actually a very influential president in Africa and establishing like the first diplomatic routes.
But the reason I brought up like Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Monroe is just it's crazy to think that you are the founding fathers, and then the country that you founded, that's the day you die.
Yeah.
On that day. So
that is pretty
kind of
wild.
poetic. That's kind of poetic.
Do you think it's a coincidence? I mean, they have a 1 out of 365 chance of doing that.
Maybe, but I think one thing about the universe, it loves irony, it loves jokes. So I can see it being just the universe manifesting it.
So my favorite fact for the 4th of July, or just America in general, is going to be something that's in a National Treasure movie, which is they talk about the signing of Declaration of Independence, and Nick Cage is like, we're going to have to steal the Declaration of Independence. Like that. So that's my Nick Cage impression. But anyway, he mentions about the people who signed it. You can see some of them signed it extremely small because they didn't want to see who their signature was. So John Hancock signing it large was basically like a come and kill me if you can, like F you, I'm going to sign it huge. And we all know John Hancock because his signature is so large on the Declaration of Independence. 56 men signed it. Out of those 56 men, some of them died in war. Some of them died from their own natural causes. Some of them were caught and killed by the British in different manners, like quartering, getting hung.
Here's the irony. So our country was founded because of the ridiculous taxation that British were imposing on America. And now, like, just to look at what we've become and the amount of taxes that we charge everybody.
But at the time, it was like 2% or 2 cents on mail, or 3% tax on tea.
Yeah. So I mean, even back then, it didn't. A foreign country telling you how to like dictate your life, or just making your life even like, because back then tea was the alternative to water. If you drank water, you were bound to catch something, so you would have to drink tea.
But then, if you think about it now, why is America not in upheaval for people paying 20 or 40%?
Yeah, and that's we're lucky that we don't have an income tax here in Tennessee. But I mean, go to New York, and you're gonna be paying like in Manhattan, the median salary right now to live there is $100,000 you have to make. And that's you living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, $100,000 is nothing in New York. Because I mean, how much? It's got to be ridiculous. Like,
clothes. I mean, but the price of living there is probably higher though.
Yeah, but it doesn't help that like California and New York, you're not only taxed on your income, but then other taxes get involved too. Your I don't know. I'm blanking on this, but it can like reach up to like around 40%, right? Of your
for your taxes.
Yeah.
I think like if you take home over $1 million in states like California and New York, you can get up to 51%, including the state income tax.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Now you can offset that by doing capital gains, but this is an accounting podcast. Like the top rate for capital gains, I think is capped at like 28% or 34%. But like as far as W-2 income or income in general, I believe it's 40% or like 39.777 chat.
God. Okay, Jimmy. Okay.
Well, I want to make sure I get it right because I'm sick of these comments about Brijesh.
No, not. Yeah, you're pointing them all towards me now, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, they were all over me the last podcast.
Yeah, so
nobody say anything mean to the comments.
Again, like our last podcast, not the last one, the podcast previous to that, we posted it on TikTok and whatever. Yeah. And dude, they just went in on us. About, this fact is wrong. This isn't right. And then he put on a masterclass. He got after every single person. So anyone who's commenting, beware of Jimmy and I. We're coming after you.
I will clap back. Just be glad you're anon.
Are you arguing with people in the comments?
No, I'm not arguing. I'm absolutely bodying it.
It's not an argument, dude.
It's not an argument.
No.
It's not like I'm going out there and doxing them. Okay, I'm just using the information that's on their profile against them. The same thing they do to us.
That is true. It is. You better don't dish it out if you can't take it.
Yeah, don't be a keyboard warrior.
What are you like in like their pictures in their comments? Like, you suck.
Yeah, basically, you're like dropping comments in there and be like, "Damn, you really thought you did something with that?" And it's like a guy playing acoustic guitar 6 years ago.
I find the latest.
But like, talking about this. TikTok is the meanest social media. I really think that it's built the algorithm to divide people. That's what I think.
Maybe,
I can see that.
But I think that could be just social media in general too. Because,
no way.
Well, okay. My thing is, and I haven't done the research on it, but I've heard secondhand that it's kind of they kind of game the system where you have to like have controversy or have debates because you'll stay on Facebook or Instagram longer. Which who's on Facebook, dude?
Well, like how come
You'd be amazed.
how come there's limits on what kids can do on Chinese TikTok during the week, but there aren't limits on it for U.S. children? It's not a freedom thing. It's you're using it against them for a specific reason, and then all theirs have to be like science and STEM.
But so that's been another point that's been going around, and I don't argue against it. But Jamie has something something profound that he said about it. Jamie's that's the tech guy for Joe Rogan.
The producer,
the tech
the
guy.
pull it up, pull it up, Jamie.
Pull it up. Yeah, we got our own Jamie here right now. But he said that we haven't actually been to China, so we don't know what their TikTok is like. We're only hearing this information secondhand. But at the same time, they have a STEM section in TikTok, but who's getting on that?
Yeah.
Who's going to go out of their way to go hit STEM?
Right.
Well, that's true. Like, I mean, like if us three Google something, we're going to get different results because of what it's trying to feed us for the algorithm.
And then 4 of them are going to be ads, so it's not even going to be relevant to anything you need. My biggest thing before we segue out of this is that if we looked at the same post on Instagram, our comment sections would be different. So say you were like right leaning or left leaning, you would see more comments that are like more supporting.
I mean, I can see that that's the same way that they do with like if you have mutual followers or something that like a post, it shows you their comments and their likes first. It gives you a preview of theirs.
Isn't that kind of weird? I think that's social engineering when Instagram shows what you've liked. Yeah. And then, because it's like, everyone can see, a whole community can see what you like and what you don't like.
Well, it used to be like that. You used to have like a feed where you can go through and see everything that everyone liked, and you couldn't see their comments. But now you can see what people commented. You can see what people like.
Yeah, because it'll push it up all the way to the top. So it's just like, not that I'm doing anything horrible on Instagram, but it still kind of feels like an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, nobody.
I'll show you later.
Burjesh's FBI agent watching this feverishly.
Oh, we can talk about that later. About I'm getting what I got a call from the Indian Embassy today.
Yeah, you can tell them. Well, that you really got me on that one.
Yeah, so I got a call from a 202 number, so it was from Washington. And what the person said, and it was a very thick Indian accent, so let me recreate it real quickly. My name is John Smith, and you are in trouble. And I said, okay, what's going on? We're from the Indian Embassy, and then Interpol has recently, recently said that you've been involved in terrorist activity. And I'm like, I've never left India Palace, dude. I don't have time to like do terrorist activities. My dad picks up the phone and he's like, well, tell you what, if you can get him a car, he'll go up there and show up right now. Because this is very serious. It was a weird kind of scam that we're doing. And it was just like, okay, you're from the Indian Embassy. That has nothing to do with me. I'm an American citizen. Yeah. But it was just the fact that, I mean, our phone numbers, all our information is out there. So anyone can kind of dial you up and say whatever they want.
I mean, how do you feel about that? That at this current time, that would be something to scam over. I mean, it's kind of like a crazy joke to be having in our current state of the world right now.
Well, dude, it's like scamming is getting so intricate now that you and I, when we're 80, we're going to get scammed.
Oh, for
There's
sure.
no way we're not going to see AI
yeah.
and everything. Because right now, you can tell, he has an accent. Like, don't redeem.
Yeah.
But it's like now, AI videos are getting so...
realistic.
Yeah, we're so realistic. And I think I only need about 30 seconds of your voice to, I could call your mother, call your father with your voice. And I'm in a car accident. I need you to send me money. Like, this has happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's like, then you're just like, oh, no, everything checks out. It sounds like him. It's got to be him. Yeah. It sounds panicked. But I don't know.
That's why Brijesh has a safe word with his family, which is pineapples.
Thank you for telling everybody.
That's a Kevin Hart joke. You wouldn't get it. Yeah. It just went whoosh.
Stop. I got.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Yep. For a special reason. Pineapples. Yeah. It's called phishing. It's where you mimic someone's voice and you do it and whatnot.
Well, you're really up on these terms.
Yeah, I am.
I'm
well read.
Like they brief you through like, you know, when you go do those classes at like different jobs, you have to do like the onboarding stuff. Yeah. And they send you do like 30 different videos. All of it, like any job, like from when I was a kid, even to current day, you can see how it's changed. And like now they like kind of, you know, brief everybody on the new tactics and new things and things like that. So phishing is something that I have heard of before too.
The half day of the job where you just get to blow it off and watch training videos all day, where they're like mandatory, have to show you and be like, he was trained, we told him.
Yeah, and then they're so boring.
I mean, I catch some of them, and like when I was a claims adjuster, the company would send out. They would send out like fake emails to see if you would flag them or if you would report them. And like if you reported it, it'll take over your screen like, congratulations, you've identified a phishing attempt.
Yeah, dude, I would fail this. It's like it's a sheer luck that I don't get caught.
Yeah,
But
basically.
okay. So what do we got on you?
Right now, we're going to move into an ad read featuring Vincent Smith at Remax
I love you,
Experts
Vincent.
for all your real estate needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned investor, or you need to move out of your current pad in exchange for a change of scenery, Vince is a lifelong Memphis area native. Licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi, he can help you navigate this tricky market like an expert. Call Vincent, your trusted friend in real estate, at 901-240-8274 and call him anytime. He'll treat you like family and take care of you.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for sponsoring us.
Strong emphasis on anytime.
Yeah, no. Well, no, one thing is he's very patient. He's a very patient man. I've had to I've dealt with him, and it's just he's a very not dealt in like a
I have dealt with him. That's
not
what
in
he
a
said.
negative way, but he's a very patient, understanding person. So he's got your back.
Yeah, I believe he's gotten several Remax awards as well. You can check out his profile. Check out his social media at Vincent the Realtor, I believe.
Yeah,
Let me
yep.
make sure I get this right.
No, you're gonna get it right.
Oh, I am.
Oh yeah.
Trust
oh,
me.
yeah.
Trust me.
Oh,
All right. You can find Vincent Smith, him at Vincent Smith _ Mid-South Homes on Instagram. That's Vincent Smith _ Mid-South Homes. Thanks for sponsoring us. We're going to move into some current events. So I'd like to talk about a current event that's near and dear to my heart and to Shelby County and Memphis, Tennessee. Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, passed away.
Yep.
Let's do a moment of silence. All right. Now, you have an interesting fact about Fred that you were talking about for the amount of money. For those of you who don't know, the story is he couldn't make payroll. He took the remaining money he had in the casino, which is what? Take it away, Brijesh.
So basically, he had $5,000 left in 1973, and the company was it was about to go under. And he said, "Okay, give me the remaining money." Goes to Las Vegas, and he earns $27,000, and he uses that money to bankroll whatever remaining bills that he had left. And in today's money, that would be equivalent to $200,000.
So he took $200,000, put it on blackjack, and said, "Give it to me, baby."
No, he took $5,000.
Right, but it's equivalent today. If
Yeah.
I was going to go repeat this, I would have to take $250,000, walk into a casino, and say, "I'm that confident to make payroll."
I think we're getting our it was $5,000. I don't know what that equivalent would be, but
To today's money.
yeah, but
He won $250,000.
yes,
No,
yes.
he won $27,000, and it would be equivalent. And the $27,000.
We love you, Fred. We love you, Fred.
We love you, Fred. R.I.P.
You got a lot of money, dude. You made a lot of money.
He made a lot of money, brought a lot of jobs to the Mid-South. We'd be
did.
like Birmingham or Jackson if we didn't have a FedEx here.
No, it's amazing that he kept his company in Memphis. He could have gone just about anywhere else, and we are the global hub of transportation.
Made a lowly airport into the largest cargo airport in the world, 10 times running. Another fun fact is that, how OG is this? They said, "Hey, we want to name the airport after you." And he said, "Not till I die." Oh. He told everybody. So now they're going to name the Memphis International Airport will be the Fred Smith Airport.
It's well earned, 100% well
So
earned.
if you think about it, like other airports are named after presidents and stuff like that. So like, how many people do you know that they're named after an airport?
Well, I mean, like
It is pretty impressive.
It's like his whole life. Like I only know stories about him secondhand. Again, he was apparently like a really horrible student. Everyone like doubted that he was going to be anything successful. Proved everybody wrong. And he died a multi-billionaire, right? I think so.
Yeah, and I think he was voted like most likely to succeed in his high school class.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
No, who knew?
I swear. But the thing I wanted to talk about, which is we're not making light of the situation, we feel strongly about the legacy that he left in the Mid-South, was a Memphis Shelby County board member today deleted a post that she posted about Fred Smith's death, about moving drugs through FedEx. In a recently deleted post, Tawana Murphy had posted that she said, "Rest well, Mr. Smith. They trusted me enough to move cocaine and weed and cash off the trucks. Thank you."
God, okay.
She said that she
That's
was misquoted and it was misinterpreted. You can take it what it is. I'm just going to repeat the facts of that was the direct quote from Tanya Murphy of the current school board.
Also, another side note. This is not my daily event or my current event, but did you hear Paul Young was about to get kidnapped?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, Paul Young was about to get
Are
kidnapped.
you aware of that?
Crime is down.
Okay, so they caught a guy jumping over the mayor of Memphis's back fence. And what he had with him was a list of other people's family, their names and their children's names on a sheet of paper. He was then arrested and bonded. He also was caught with a taser, and he was also caught with like something to restrain him, like either duct tape or rope. And he also had a ski mask, which he did not have on.
And this is right on the heels of what happened in Minnesota. The senator that got assassinated by, who was it? I got names right here. By Vance Belter, who is not a Democrat. I just want to put that out there because apparently he gets offended if you call him a Democrat. So I'm sorry, Vance. But like the story behind that is that, who was it? Melissa Hortman, she was voting on a bill to end universal health care for the citizens of Minnesota who are illegal and just keep it for the legal citizens. Yeah. And she was kind of heartbroken about it. But I think maybe a couple of days later, around 2 a.m., Vance Belter shows up to her house. He had a whole PT Cruiser. It was like decked out. It looked like an actual police officer's vehicle. And it was
not a PT Cruiser.
Not a PT Cruiser. Okay. Oh, my bad. It shows in my car. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like those SUVs,
a police cruiser.
Yeah, police cruiser. Yeah. Shows up, but it had all the decals, right? Yeah.
Decals.
He showed up in a PT Cruiser. The cop issued. I think you mean a Crown Vic. You're thinking of Crown Vic.
Whatever it is, it looked legit.
I saw it. He had it was like a black Tahoe or something like that. Yeah. But it had all the police decals.
And it was the first the senator's house he goes to was John Hoffman. He shows up. He's wearing this weird, like, hyper realistic mask, which inside reported on there, like, put the mask on. It's like weird. Like, what the hell are you doing putting the mask on? But shows up, and anyone's gonna open the door at 2:00 in the morning. It's a police cruiser out there, a policeman. Yeah. Opens the door and he like riddles that man with bullets. And then police are like, okay, they know that there's someone out there like killing politicians, so they go do a wellness check on Melissa Hortman. That's the second victim. Yeah. And on his way there, Vance Belter like ran into another cop, and she was trying to talk to him, but he was like just looking straight forward. He wasn't looking at her. Yeah. So the cop just let him go, and he shows up to Melissa Hortman's house, and there are two other cops there because they're doing a wellness check on all the politicians. Mm. They start exchanging gunfire, and somehow Vance Belter is able to get inside the house, kill both Melissa Hortman and her husband. Yeah. So that was like really weird. Like, how are you like exchanging gunfire, and how are you like how did you even get inside the house?
Well, wasn't he like tactically trained or something like that? Wasn't he in the military?
In the military, like that's what they say, that he was like he's an enigma because he like kind of lived a double life. He was a priest in the Congo for a while. There's a lot of weird stuff about him. He was apparently a doomsday prepper. So for people out there, doomsday preppers, they're basically always ready for like whenever shit hits the fan, that they have a go bag, they have somewhere to go survive. It's a whole ordeal. But the weirdest thing is that like he had a roommate. He had like a second house where he like lived with a roommate, a couple days on, couple days off. Mm. And it was the day that the shooting happened. He texted his wife, "Dad's about to go to war. Get the kids and leave because people are going to be showing up that are trigger happy." Yeah. And the weirdest thing is that when he surrendered at the end, he said that Tim Walz is the one who told me to go kill all these politicians. So it's like all of it's like weird. Yeah. And I think you got to let the story marinate. Some more details come out.
So do you feel like there's something underlying behind all of this?
I mean, dude, you're 57 years old. Yeah. I mean, I understand. There's a lot of patriots out there.
I think on one side there seems to be a mental health crisis in America. Yeah. On the other side, people are getting really fed up with the loops they have to jump through for healthcare. Yeah. That's like, when's the last time you saw someone get assassinated and half the people go, I mean, I can see why the guy did it.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, he has like a fan club.
Right. Yeah, but it's like the thing is like Vance, like he's a Republican. He would be for her voting down illegal immigrants getting health care. Yeah. So the motivations don't make sense. Mm. And it's just, whatever it is, it's a tragedy that happened. And now it's like a lot of like, who was it when Trump was about to be assassinated by that killer at the rally? It's like people have said like there's going to be a lot of copycats coming out.
All I can say is Latinas for Mangione.
Latinas.
Do you know about that? Mm-mm. It's like a group of women that are fascinated with Luigi
that's what I was saying. Like the fan club. So, I guess I didn't know.
To go back to the Paul Young thing real quick, the thing that makes me upset about this situation is He was given a $50,000 bail because all of our bail is income based in Memphis. However, his bail was then increased to $2 million because the mayor was involved.
Yeah.
So either do it for everybody or do it for nobody.
Right,
Like, you know, it's the rules for thee or the rules for not we.
Yeah, no, it's so I didn't realize how corrupt the bail system is here and how quickly they'll let people get back on the streets.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's income based. So if you have no income or you have an income below, like if you're a millionaire and you get a DUI, your bail will be income based, which is a lot of times like if you get a ticket in Europe and you're speeding at 100 miles an hour, Trey makes $10 million, you make $500,000, and I make $50,000. Our ticket will all be different amounts.
This is blowing my mind how handicapped Memphis is when it comes to our politicians and why they come up with these laws that don't make any sense.
Well, it's like we talked about, and you could fact check this and look it up. The amount of people that are causing all the shoplifting crimes in New York is like, I think like below 20,000 people. So if they just locked up those 20,000 people, 90% of all shoplifting would not happen in New York.
Dude, it's I don't know.
mean, I don't know if that'll just cut it all the way out like that.
Well,
I don't
it's-
think it would either.
It's repeat offenders a lot of the times, and it's a lot of the bail system. I'm not saying bail's good. I would hate to pay bail. I would hate to post bail, but I mean, there has to be some penalty because it's like if coffee's free, we're gonna have a bunch of empty cups of coffee on the table that are half drank. If it's $5, you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna finish this
gonna
coffee
drink
before
that.
I get the next one.
And okay, so I mean, I don't know if you want to stay on like Memphis statistics, but I think we're one of like a handful of cities that reports every single crime that happens. So it makes it look like Memphis is super dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know if that creates some type of psychological loop or some type of like it fulfills its own prophecy that it's a dangerous city. So like it kind of continues the cycle. Because if you go to Nashville, they have some of the same crimes that happen here, but they don't report those petty crimes.
Yeah.
It's also the per capita, so it looks way worse per capita. So if you go for the amount of
Because it's just a
murders and the
smaller
amount of
city.
stuff,
Yeah. So
So-
it's just like it always feels like again like that we're handicapped. There's some like policies that we could change to kind of actually help Memphis benefit in like both the financial. I mean, of course, a financial way, and I think everything will come downstream from that. But who knows?
I think so
Who
as
knows?
well.
Just to sum it up, R.I.P. Fred Smith.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Tawana Murphy, that was wild.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said that and then deleted it. Either stand on business and keep it up or what.
Right.
And then
I got
So you think
misquoted.
she should have just doubled down? on
we
it?
are glad.
Yeah, in this,
she should have.
in
She
this
should have
day and
doubled
age,
down.
honestly, because I mean everything's about going viral. Everything's about, like your name ID is what really matters. And as a politician, of course, it's controversy. But what did Trump say? Any media is good media.
Any press is good press.
Any
Everyone
press is
says
good
that.
press.
Don't start trademarking things for Trump.
Dude,
He's got enough
Trump's
money.
been on my head, especially this last couple of weeks.
Well, you want to talk about Trump so bad? Why don't you tell us about Daddy?
Okay, so recently the Secretary General of NATO called Trump daddy. So here's what happened. He was talking about how he was making an analogy that like a lot of like what is it? He had to get rough with the kids because you have to let them fight it out, duke it out for 2-3 minutes, and then daddy steps in and like breaks up the fight. And later he was asked by a reporter, like, what, so do you think all of NATO are your children because they call you daddy? And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll be their daddy. Like, but it's just because of Trump, NATO's finally doubling their defense budget, which I think that money's going to go right back to us because who are the defense contractors over there, like Lockheed and like Boeing. So it's all American companies that are supplying them weapons. But it was a significant increase, because no other president's been able to force NATO to increase their defense budget, because it makes no sense that we're funding. I'm sure we're funding a large majority or mostly like all of it, right? Their defense, whatever defense is.
Yeah, we're definitely paying more per capita than anybody else, but we spend the most per capita out of any country. But like we've talked about before, I'd be less worried about that. And it's kind of like the never-ending cycle of, we're going to pay more on the national interest, I believe, starting next year than we will on the entire defense budget.
yeah,
just the interest.
We're at almost $35 trillion in national debt.
Yeah,
It's like
That's kinda
it's getting
ridiculous. But,
these numbers
I mean,
are getting.
But that is how you make the world go around. To be honest, though.
Well, yeah, it's the classic. The world is, $370 trillion in debt to each other. Who are they in debt to?
Right.
Yeah, and as as long as it's the U.S. dollar, that's still it's still not the base currency. As long as it's the global reserve currency,
The petrodollar?
That's what really, the petrodollar, because it's no longer backed by gold. I don't know if you want to go down this route.
Do you like sitting in the middle seat and having to look back and forth?
I love it. I feel like daddy.
Yeah, so people started calling him daddy, right?
Yeah, people started. And
They were calling him daddy.
They were calling him daddy.
He didn't
and-
ask them to call him daddy.
No. And Trump said, "Okay, I'm okay with being called daddy." And then the Secretary General doubled down on, "Of course he's daddy."
Yeah.
Of course.
I do want to shout, before we move on to Diddy and some other current events, I do want to shout out the B-2 bomber that flew over there. They said that the guys had microwaves and toilets and like a TV in there. And
It's
the
a
B-2
$1 billion
bomber.
aircraft.
Yeah, so like a tweet online was like, could you imagine dropping Hot Pockets like right before you're about to drop bombs on Iran and fly back? But you're like, one of you has to be awake for like 37 hours, if not both of you.
Yeah,
So
no.
imagine the amphetamines you're on to do that.
Dude, I think it's outside of Moab, it was the second biggest bomb ever dropped on not civilians, on like a military target, but a 30,000 pound bomb. We're the only platform in the world that can carry that bomb over to Iran. I don't know if you want to get into this, though.
Did we find out about the shoplifters?
Yes, you were correct. It was
He likes to hear that. You were correct.
So just so we're all clear, if you can't hear,
NYPD reported more than 21,000 shoplifting arrests in 2024, and that's basically from a small group of individuals.
there you go. So that's what I was saying, is the small group of people, similar to probably what's going on in Memphis, a small group of people are causing the majority of the crimes. New York.
Well, I wonder, like, if it's allowed senescence, as in, like, you like allow this type of like crime to occur just so you can like keep the police and like, you know, like,
Well,
if you have common sense rules.
It's a double-edged sword. What are you going to do? Are you going to double down on crime and ultra police it and then hold people like ridiculously accountable? Like, are we going to become Thailand or like the Saudi Arabia if you get your hand cut off, or excuse me, Singapore, not Thailand?
Yeah.
But like, are you going to have really harsh penalties, or why are people stealing in the first place? Probably most of them, like, they don't have the
poverty.
opportunity to do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Impoverished areas.
It's, I mean, okay, so it's a multifaceted problem, and there's no like real solution to it, but like having a more common sense human approach to it probably could benefit. Because I think a lot of these people, because you have the prison industrial complex in America where you basically technically have like slave labor that's legalized, where you have those inmates that are like
the
on the same-
old timey pressing the
'cause
license plates.
It's like, this is the most disgusting part about it. On the same plantations that like slaves were held, or where these
prisons are.
the prisons are built, and then the same like fields that were like farmed are just still being farmed by like an African American majority.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like the prison in Louisiana,
Yeah,
the Angola
yeah.
prison,
Yeah.
where they have like a state fair and you still have to come out and it's all stuff the prisoners made and whatnot?
Yeah, dude,
It's like one of the scariest prisons to be locked up because like it only has like one wall in the front, and then the other wall is like you can fend for yourself in the swamps of Louisiana.
and that's a weird thing. It's like you go to any other country, you the prison, not any other country, like say European countries, for example, the prison system's actually going to reform you.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, no, you're on a conveyor belt now.
Yeah.
Once you go in, your likelihood of going back in is, what is it? Like, it's got to be a ridiculous high percent. You're not going to get any job once that goes on your record.
Yeah, as I
So-
say, it's just no opportunity once you get out, especially for felons. You know?
Yeah.
So they go out and all the jobs that are actually paid that aren't, you know, paying the smallest means, they're going to say no to you.
Yeah.
Hey, you have this felony. There isn't a strong enough way to clear these felonies from these people so they can start getting jobs
Yeah.
or start working at different places. So I mean, you can see
Or ways to get it off your record. I don't know if you can or not.
Expunge.
Expunge it off your record. It's so financially out of your
Diversion.
out of your means.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people that
So
got
isn't
the,
diversion only for like a first offense though?
yeah, diversion or expungement.
It says here re-arrest rates. So within 3 years, approximately 66 to 68.
God.
That's a really high percentage. Oh my gosh.
State prisons are re-arrested for a new crime within 3 years.
Can we do one more fact check and then we're going to move on to Diddy and we won't pause for the fact check? Can we check, Brijesh, that the bomb that they dropped on Iran was smaller than the atomic bomb?
Not the
but
atomic-
larger,
Moab. No, no.
but larger than Moab?
No, I never said it was
Okay.
larger than Moab.
My
I said
bad, my bad.
Dude,
Can you-
he was cooking off
Can
like
you
he
check-
did something.
can you
we
check
can
it
watch
was-
the video again.
Can we check that it was smaller than the Moab bomb?
It was 30,000 pounds.
But it's the second largest bomb we have in our arsenal, behind the hydrogen bomb, the nuclear bomb.
No. So
the bomb we don't even know know about bomb?
It's okay. Nuclear's its own class. Let's go non-nuclear bombs. Moab's at the top. Then there's GB-20 or whatever.
No, a hydrogen bomb would have to be at the top, which is not a nuclear bomb.
Okay, then hydrogen bomb. Okay, why do you know your bombs?
By the way, I just want to bring up the fact that Donald Trump I don't know why he said it this way, but this week Donald Trump said that he was talking to Benjamin Netanyahu, and he said Benjamin Netanyahu dropped the N-word. And then he paused and he goes, nuclear. Like that. And so
our president actually clickbaiting us.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
He is meant, like, he is fed off this, like, the same way Obama used social media.
Yeah.
I feel like he just, like, tapped into, like, social media.
No, for real.
And how to be clickbaity.
Well, I mean, he did it for 10 years on The Apprentice.
I mean, there we go.
So what did we find out? Is Brijesh right or wrong?
The bomb dropped in Iran, weighed approximately 30,000 pounds, and in comparison, the Moab weighs around 21.
So it was actually larger than the Moab bomb.
Okay, and I don't know if I should take the victory or not, but
We're going to move on. Why don't you drop the Diddy bomb on us?
All right. I mean, I guess we can start it off by, what are you guys' thoughts on this trial? Which way do you think this will go? Will it go in favor for Diddy or favor?
Well, you know what happened to Wendy Williams, don't you?
What part of Wendy Williams?
Wendy Williams. Why she got sick was Diddy knew she knew too much. He hit the kill switch. She knew too much about the freak offs.
She tried to expose him as a bisexual, like some years back.
yeah.
No,
it was that weird.
Do you believe Diddy is bisexual?
I mean, I don't think that based off of the trial so far, none of it has said that he's been penetrated in any way or anything like that. It did say some weird things that you might raise an eyebrow to, but I think he may be a little bi-curious, but for the most part, for his public image, heterosexual. But
you would admit that he is a voyeur of strange things.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Do you think that's more of a power thing?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think it's like how he can exercise his power at home and at work. It's like a constant drive for him, and I believe that if he did not have that type of drive or that like a power trip of this magnitude, if he did not have that, he wouldn't be the person who he is. He wouldn't be this billionaire, this mogul guy. I don't think that he would have all of that. Now, I mean, the biggest thing about it is the legality of what he's been doing. Yeah. My biggest opinion on it is if arrest a guy for the crimes that he's committed. If you want to arrest a guy for domestic violence, assault, or something like that, you arrest him for that, or you charge him with this. Don't trump up all of these things. All of these civil cases that have all of these so-called victims or alleged victims, riled up so they can try to get a payday. I feel like some of the stuff is just blown out of proportion, and a lot of people aren't taking as much accountability as they should. Because, like I started to say earlier, I understand what a trauma bond is, but it's kind of hard to see that when someone is giving you the option. Yeah, it may be, it may be some weird option. Like, I mean, I guess you can go. Don't worry about it. Like, it may be that type of thing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're not going to go through years and years and years of, heinous things that you're claiming them to be, these heinous, wild acts. Yeah. But then, we turn around and we start to look at the hard evidence. And a lot of it seemed, all of the victims mostly seem complicit with a lot of the actions that, that he took.
Well, I just want to be clear. You're not condoning any of the actions that Diddy took from the trial, but you're stating that it is kind of ridiculous that he got upcharged on everything, and they're trying to make it out to more than it should be, which they've already dropped some of the big charges that they had against him because they fumbled the case so bad in federal court.
I feel like it's just exploitation of this whole of the RICO Act. It's just exploitation of it. Yeah. Okay, a lot of this stuff is past the statute of limitation, so we can't go back and pursue them for these things or put these charges on them. Yeah. So let's just throw it in as a RICO, which doesn't have a statute of limitation. You can be charged for a RICO for something that you did 30 years ago. Only thing they need is predicate acts for it.
Everyone tries to throw RICO onto everything, but the original question, Brijesh, was how much have you been keeping up with the Diddy trial?
So no, okay. So you're not supporting Diddy and like what he did. It's just like you're saying that he shouldn't. Like, you're right about the trumped up charges. maybe it was like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial where it just got so much media spotlight that it became something else completely.
Exactly.
But it's like you're still like, okay, if there is victims, there should be justice for the victims.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like no, you're right about that. What was I?
The question was, how much did you know about the Diddy trial?
Dude, I don't know enough. I only know off of social media like, what's going on and how to like the jokes that are coming out of it.
You guys have any questions about it?
No,
I have a question. What are the top 3 nicknames that have come out of the trial? Because we've talked about Crack Pipe. We haven't talked about the Punisher.
So the Crack Pipe nickname was the nickname that he gave the Jane Doe in the case.
Yeah.
He it was a recorded call. It was a voice note.
Yeah.
That he sent to her, and it started off. He was saying, "Good morning, how you doing? I can't get enough of you. I'm going to call you my crack pipe." As far as it's saying that he's addicted to her.
Yeah.
That was the reason for the nickname. Another nickname was CC. That was for Cassie. That stood for Cassie Combs, and they tried to depict this as that was a form of love bombing her, giving her this like false sense of, hey, I'm giving you my last name as if I'm going to marry you. We're going to be together forever. There's, a method to the madness of what's going on right now. There's means to all of it. And what would be another? What's the third?
I think a good point that you're making is the prosecution tried to make it as black and white as possible, as in he's guilty, here's everything bad that he did, and then they submitted their own counter evidence, one of which was Cassie making death threats on a call to somebody that had recorded something.
That was to one of the
allegedly.
Correct. That was to one of the sex workers. Well, the call is not alleged. That they actually played the it leaked after they submitted to evidence and they showed it to the jurors. Well, that was to one of the sex workers. He was attempting to threaten them. If I'm remembering correctly, I think this was sent to maybe Jonathan Odie. It may be one of the other sex workers.
So you've been really keeping up with the Diddy trial.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of questions because secondhand. I've only been keeping up with secondhand what we were seeing on the media, all the jokes about it.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about was there were a lot of really big names that came out that were like, what do they have to do with the Diddy trial? Like Kid Cudi was in there, Michael B. Jordan was in there. They have Jane Doe, a person that will not be named. You've got a lot of famous people who have shown up and reported and whatnot.
Well, so what makes it even crazier is, like you said, how the Johnny Depp trial and the Amber Heard trial, that the way it was shown to social media, the way they put a spotlight on it.
Yeah.
A lot of these civil cases that surround, the actual federal case, that's what trumps up social media, things like that, because a lot of the names that you would think, I had this conversation with someone else as well, and they just started naming out these different celebrities. I'm like, hey, like a third of the people that you just named
have nothing
are the only ones in the case, because as far as it goes for, they named a couple unnamed or redacted, celebrities and things like that. But, as far as it goes for Michael B. Jordan, it just so happened that he was named in the trial because Cassie was on set for a movie that she was casted in, and they had relations, supposedly or allegedly.
An entanglement.
Yeah.
I have a theory about like why
allegedly
the Diddy case is being followed so closely. It's kind of adjacent to the Epstein case, where we never actually got the list of people that were on this island. We have maybe Bill Clinton or Andrew, who's it? Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are still like unnamed. And here it's like, oh, this is also rich people doing like hedonistic acts. And it's just like, oh, it's like they're just, we never got a resolution to the Epstein case. So it's like, oh, here, like these are just like rich people doing like heinous acts on people who are like,
I just don't get like even the celebrities that were mentioned. None of them were mentioned as far as it goes for the freak offs or the wild king nights, as they also are called, debauchery nights.
Yeah, Kid Cudi has car burn though.
Yeah, well, so even with that, they removed the arson charge from it because there was no substantial evidence that it was Diddy that burned his car down. The only thing they had with Kid Cudi was the fact that Cassie and Diddy were on a break period. Yeah. And Diddy found out that she was messing around with Kid Cudi because he lived close to her family's house. Yeah. And she was dealing with Kid Cudi. He finds out He makes her give him his address.
Yeah.
He goes to his house. And this is the next crazy thing where I'm not understanding this in the trial. They depict Diddy as he was abusing this guy's animal. He put the dog in the bathroom while he was going through this guy's house.
Yeah.
Say something about the home invasion. You broke into someone's home.
Yeah.
Why do you have to say
him.
that? Exactly. You're painting him as this huge monster, but I feel like that's really what, kind of threw the curveball for the prosecution. You try so hard to depict him as a monster. At the end of the day, it ends up turning on you because now none of this information that you've presented is substantial. All of it is kind of like, you sure it happened that way? It's sounding more like these civil cases. And then you have these victims that are perjuring themselves on the stand. They get on the stand and they tell lies. And I don't know how the prosecution wasn't prepared for these type of things. Who was doing the briefing, because they said at least the three victims, one victim not even showing up, the two victims, the Jane Doe and Cassie, and the other smaller victims, the Bonner girl, she was like one of Cassie's friends and stuff like that, or Dawn Richard, these
are all new names to me.
All of these people that have gone to testify, the defense has literally just poked holes all through it. None of it was like maybe 25% of it is true, but then the rest of it is well, you said this when they initially briefed you, when the federal agents came and you gave them a testimony. What you said to them is different. Or in the civil case that you have on the side that no one is really kind of putting the spotlight on, you said something completely different in the civil case. Now this is 3 different stories that you're presenting. What can we believe, and how do you get 12 jurors to unanimously agree on the same thing when it's so here and there?
Well, when you're talking about the jurors now too, because most jurors have to be impartial, but in this day and age, you can't be impartial.
Yeah.
You're exposed to information all the time. If you're on social media, it's going to paint your bias one way or the other.
Correct.
Yeah, I believe they're also not sequestered for this trial, which is crazy. So they can see all the news, but they're not supposed to watch all the news. You got to tell me, do you think one of those 12 people has seen something in the news about this and whatnot and blah, blah, blah?
It's ridiculous because you don't allow cameras in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But you allow a viewing gallery of everybody. Everybody that's in that viewing gallery has a press pass. Yeah. What do you think they're using their press pass for? They're not just there because they're interested in the Diddy trial. They want to get some personal notes. They're going to take that information down, go and publish it somewhere else, and then the whole thing is there. I was watching Law and Crime earlier, and there was one of the hosts on there was saying something about how they're trying to fight to get cameras in these places so everyone else can get an understanding. I'm like, what does that do? Why are you talking about a camera in this place? I would be thinking more along the lines of, we need to make sure all this information that's going on in the courtroom is vetted. The victims, they're not just throwing out nonsense and making our legal system look bad. Because I also think that there's some strange underlying thing going on right now, especially in our society nowadays, where all of these super rich men are now all they're doing these strange things. Like I'm not going to go deep into it, but there's three other cases that's going on at the same time as this.
Yeah,
3 other black men: Shannon Sharp, Tyler Perry, Fat Joe. Like all of these 3 other cases are going on right now at this very moment, and it's like, is there like some type of underlying agenda? What is happening to where all 4 of these stories are very similar? All of them start off as, well, they were having consensual sex with someone for a long period of time, and then something clicked one day, then it wasn't consensual, and then like the next month it was consensual for another length of time after that. That's a little bit unfair to prosecute someone.
You're right. Okay, with the Shannon Sharp angle, it's to that I just think he should have been, if he had what is it called? When you had to sign a document,
an NDA,
and like if you had an NDA, like that's just on him. Like
that's very common.
The federal, anything federal trumps an NDA. Yeah. You can have all of us in this room right now sign an NDA, but if a federal agent comes to the door and comes up here and brings me to the side and say, hey, I want you to tell me what all happened in here, I can't tell him, hey, I signed an NDA.
Even with so the way they presented the information about Shannon Sharp, made him look like a monster, but then you see the other text and it's just like, no, like she's an OnlyFans model. Not saying there's anything wrong.
She's
Actually,
an OnlyFans model.
She was
sitting there, she was begging him for his baby gravy.
Yeah, baby gravy. And then it's like, but then I don't know what's going on with Tyler Perry or Fat Joe. I just saw about Tyler Perry, the $250 million lawsuit that he's facing.
A lot more debauchery.
And I just want to put it out there. Not that I hate OnlyFans models, but it's just like, let's be 100%. Let's keep it a buck.
Let's get back to
I don't really support it.
Let's get back to the Diddy thing. The baby oil is weird. The
baby oil is weird, and it sounds weird to our ears, but you're talking about someone who's, I mean, you basically just call this guy an info. Like he likes to enjoy himself.
Yeah.
How is it our place to judge a man based off of what he likes to do in the bedroom? How would you feel if someone came and they were going into your bedroom and said, "Oh man, you doing it like that?" Oh no, this guy's nasty.
This guy's like nasty. I 100% see what you're saying, and I think you're right. But there is a higher propensity for really rich people because you have to have a mindset to take yourself to that next level that they express that power in other ways. Yeah, because it's like you're like I don't know about. There could be an angle with you have black superstars that are being like unjustly targeted. Yeah, and in an echo chamber that could make sense, but then you have these there are some freaks out there and really rich freaks, and it's just when you start seeing when you have unimaginable wealth and you mix in just any type of right now. I don't know. I feel like society's rife with conspiracies. Yeah. They're popping up everywhere. Yeah, it's really easy to see oh, this person should have been because all you have to do is you're only going off of again what previously things that came out about the Epstein files. Yeah, that was wild. I think that really because if I told you
the biggest difference between that and what's currently happening,
it's not state they're not.
No, there were minors involved. There were minors involved.
That's true.
Yeah. There were minors involved. Not one time in this federal case for Diddy has anyone been underage. They may be young, but I mean that's legal. It may be distasteful or taboo, but it's not. It's not illegal. It's not. It's not illegal to date someone 20 years younger than you. Once they're above the legal age, if you have an opinion on it, that's cool. Have an opinion on it, but
you are not breaking the law you did on Epstein's Island because that was horrific. What was going on on that island?
Exactly.
What? Let's wrap it up and go one by one. What do you guys think? Starting with Trey, ending with me. What do you guys think the final outcome would be? Closing arguments are today and tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Probably Monday morning we're going to walk into.
Well, so right now I still do believe that it's a 50-50 thing going on right now because. Yeah, the charges that won't be admissible for the jurors to decide on. It's arson. It's not sex trafficking. It's not the sex trafficking.
Yeah, I think they dropped that one.
Yeah,
it's the intent to sex traffic.
Yeah,
that's what's being taken out.
Can you tell us what remaining charges Diddy has against him?
With sex trafficking, isn't it it can you took a person from one state to the other and now you're it's something very simple too.
If you take someone across state lines, with intent to have sex for.
But it's it's overused and thrown on everybody basically.
Yeah. Right? Time out. What is the remaining charges that Diddy has against him that were dropped after today? What is the remaining charges that Diddy has today, which is the weekend before the closing arguments were today, and they will be tomorrow, and then Monday and Tuesday they'll probably have deliberations for a verdict.
Correct.
We're thinking.
Yeah. Right.
The AI is thinking.
So he has 3 remaining charges as of today: racketeering, conspiracy.
Yep. Oh, the RICO is still there.
Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and third, transportation to engage in prostitution.
That's sex trafficking.
Well, no, the sex trafficking would be within the RICO.
Yeah.
The last one is just prostitution, and I think they got him dead to rights on the prostitution.
Well, accusations that claims moved individuals across state lines specifically for the purpose of prostitution.
So what I'm hearing is if he would just kept it all in the same state, he might have been okay.
So like you're basically saying you want an impartial trial. You want the court system to work impartially and actually come to a verdict without outside
based off of facts, not off of emotions or someone's personal.
You're not supporting anything that did. No.
Not the heinous things. Again, I don't have an opinion at all as far as it goes for his sex life.
Yeah.
You know, if you like to sit in the corner and watch that, I mean, more power to you. But it's just
because you're right. Like this sets a precedent because every one of us, like God forbid, we're ever in court, but every one of us should deserve a chance to have an impartial trial,
a fair chance,
where you don't have outside influences.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly, because right now with social media, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, honestly.
Just to fact check on that, there are allegations involving minors. So a few key ones. So one is drugging and assaulting a 10-year-old boy back in 2005 in a New York City hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Plus assaulting a 17-year-old boy during a 2008 audition.
Mm-hmm.
Next is a separate lawsuit accuses him of raping a 13-year-old during a 2000.
The VMAs.
Yeah, alongside Jay-Z. Next one is a civil lawsuit which alleges he hired or trafficked an underage girl for a Miami party. And lastly, it says in total, out of 120 plus lawsuits filed, at least 25 plaintiffs alleged they were minors at the time of the incident.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could ask why he hasn't been convicted. He hasn't been convicted for a bunch of reasons.
Bashali, let me stop you right here. Just for a production thing. I don't think anyone picked because we just sat here quietly for like 30, 40 seconds. Would you?
Repeat any of the facts I said?
It's
you may have to just adjust the audio.
Okay.
So those cases, those are all civil cases, and those are all fueled by this attorney by the name of Tony Busby. Tony Busby is also the attorney that's behind the Shannon Sharp thing that's going on.
Oh.
And there's also two other connecting cases, the one between Fat Joe and the one between Diddy.
Just so we're clear, just so we can throw this on there for the legality. Yep. This is all alleged.
This is all alleged. Yes.
All right, let's just real quick to wrap it up. We got conspiracy, prostitution, and what was the third charge? It was RICO, prostitution, and then what's the other one?
Sex trafficking, wasn't it?
Yeah, sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. So I think he will be not guilty on sex trafficking. I think he'll be not guilty on the RICO because the RICO has a very high. It is a very high. Like when you go to court and you do this, there's a lot of and conjunctions where it's not and or. For the prostitution, I think paying someone to go across, and then that can be really blurred in the lines of entertainment versus engaging in whatnot.
Well, so even with the prostitution thing, the max charge for that is 5 years. I think it's 5 years, and he already has about one so far. You get time, probably get time and a half at 85%. You're talking about maybe 2 more years in jail for Diddy. But like I said, I think it's a 50-50 game. So far, just listening to the ending statements or whatever today, or the closing statements today. I think the game that they're playing is the prosecution is attempting to convict based off of emotion, and what the defense is trying to defend Diddy against is by factual evidence, substantial evidence that actually can stand and prove something in court. But to answer your question, I do believe that, at the end of the day, it's still a 50-50. I would like to hear, the defense's closing statements first for me to give, a solid, hey, it's leaning more to this side or that side. But before I started to hear the closing statements and got a clear understanding of the charges that were dropped, I would have gave Diddy maybe a 60-40 in favor of Diddy.
Okay. All right. What do you think?
So after listening to how extensively you broke down a Diddy trial, I really don't know because I have not done enough research on this trial to even because it's one thing to say it in jest, or you should go to jail, you should go here. But I did not know all these not controversies or the people that have been kicked out or the things he's been accused of that have been dropped. If he's guilty, then of course he should go to jail. But what you said, you said it
beautifully,
that it should be impartial, whatever the impartial judgment is, then I support it because from how extensively what's going on, I don't even have an ounce of that. So I'm just gonna be impartial on this. Yeah. Just because I don't feel like it's right for somebody just to comment on if you should go to jail or not. Correct. If I don't have enough information on it.
Well, My 2 cents is I don't think he's a great guy. But
Yeah.
that's I just want to throw that
And
out
most
there.
people-
Yeah, I don't
most
either.
people of
I don't
his
think he's a great
stature
guy
are
either.
Not a
Yeah.
pro. This is not a pro Diddy.
This is not
podcast.
a pro Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be clear about that. Make sure you watch till this part.
Yeah, weird. This is not pro Diddy. Just pro a fair justice system.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of legal needs, you've got an ad read, don't you?
Okay,
Brijesh?
great
Yeah.
segue.
Yeah.
Luke is gonna love this. Okay, here we go. So, call WCWS Law Firm today. Our expert attorneys are here to make the process smooth and stress-free with services like settling estates, managing wills, resolving disputes, handling trusts, and guiding you through every legal detail. Based right here in the heart of Memphis, we're your local probate pros. Reach us at 901-523-1844 or visit WCWSlaw.com now. Yeah, okay. That was actually a
now.
perfect segue
All
into
right.
the ad read.
We're going to move into our childhood trauma segment. This is something that's memorialized. What?
We're your 2 cents.
Yeah.
My 2
What do you
cents?
think?
I already said I thought he was going to get convicted of prostitution. But
Okay.
I think the other charges were presented so poorly that I don't know how I would vote on the jury. However, if I had the facts that were presented and you look at the minute by minute testimony, now that's reported by like say CNN, Fox News, some
It's actually being reported
ABC.
by. It's being reported by a few bloggers who are actually taking the
detailed notes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if I did that, it seems like a slam dunk case for a few things. Like I find it very odd. Like if I had to bet my life, did he blow up like Kid Cudi's car? Yeah, I probably would bet that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. But that's why we're guilty until proven innocent, not guilty prove that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Isn't it innocent until proven guilty?
I will say that just going back to the Diddy thing, and then we'll move on to our childhood trauma, 4th of July memories.
Yeah.
I will say there are a lot of weird things about the trial, such as the amount of baby oil. I just want to bring that up one more time. It's just weird. It's a
for the
weird.
algorithm, we're doing it for
I'm
the
talking. This
algorithm.
guy had to be keeping them in business because Dave Chappelle's got a joke where my mom's got a bottle of baby oil. It's the same bottle of baby oil she's always had. When has anyone been like, "Damn, I need more baby oil"? It's just something not people say. And then also the timing of the case coming up like this is very odd to me. If he really was this bad of a guy, why did it take so long for someone to speak up for that long? Right? Were they truly worried about retaliation, or did they just get cut off?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some other weird things about the trial that I find are like some of like the jury has been tampered with and whatnot.
Yeah.
They've already removed one of the jurors that seemed like from the news reports I've read were probably pro Diddy and was like going to like have a mistrial.
What even happened with that? The guy. So apparently, one of the other jurors kind of, I guess, told him because he was having a casual conversation, and what the issue was when he was giving all the information when they were going through like the jury process or trying to pick the jurors, he said that he lived this place, which was New York, but one of the other jurors overheard him saying that he had to go to New Jersey, which essentially is 30 minutes away from New York, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And supposedly he's living in New Jersey, but he lied and said that he lived in New York at his mom's house or something like that. But he actually was living in New Jersey with his girlfriend. And they put him off of that.
Yeah, I'll say this and then we can move on. When I was doing jury duty, I was there for a double murder gang trial, and we got sequestered, and we were at a hotel off of American Way in Memphis, which is not a good place to be. And while we were there, one of the ladies that was on jury, her direct quote was, "Ooh, man, I can't stand the cops." And then they were like, "What do you think about cops and this and this?" And she was like, "Well, cops are very trustworthy people." And then like during the jury discovery, during voir dire where they pick jurors, they were like, "But you just said that you can't stand the cops. Now you're saying you trust a cop. Which one is it?" It's like, I'm a firm believer that there are some people that like this is going to be the highlight of their life, and they'll say whatever they can do to get jury duty.
For sure.
Especially if they're like, this is going to be a high profile case.
Oh yeah. No, do you know before you go in that you're going to be on Diddy's trial as a
No,
juror?
they'll just tell you that this
Okay.
is a sequestered trial.
They
and
tell you
blah,
the
blah.
charges of
Yeah.
it.
They will tell you if it's like a VIP trial. They'll be like, hey, just so you know, you cannot do this, this, and this. And
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. I know how it works in Tennessee. I don't know how it works at the federal level.
But that's okay.
I actually didn't get chosen. You got chosen?
Yeah, I got chose for
That's
a double murder trial, and I will say this 100%. One of the quotes that came out was Memphis PD said in a statement that was quoted in the trial I was in that there are downsides to videotaping interrogations. And me and all the other jurors went, did they just say that? Like, basically, they just like video. They were like, the video camera malfunctioned or something like that in this trial. So it was pretty wild.
That's I've never been on jury duty. Knock on wood.
All right, 4th of July. Thanks for exercising your jury duty right and privilege and duty as an American citizen. All right, so who would like to go first with their favorite childhood trauma of a 4th of July memory? This can be a good story, a bad story.
Because I don't know. I didn't mean to pick you.
Are you going to pick Trey again first?
No.
You got one?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind, dude. You're on a roll.
Well, so I remember maybe it was like 14.
If this is the Back It Up Terry video, I'm going to lose it.
Back it up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
But no, I was like 14, and I had one of my childhood friends lived like around the corner, and my family, his direct family, and his aunt, we all lived like in a very close vicinity. The neighborhood that I lived in, most people were like really tight knit.
Block party.
No, it wouldn't even be a block party. We'll go to one house and we'll go inside. They'll be grilling in the backyard, and then we'll go like down the street to another house and they'll be grilling in their backyard.
Yeah.
It'd be like 4 separate parties, but everyone was welcome at each of them.
Yeah.
Well, so the sun goes down, and my friend, his dad always goes all out on fireworks.
Yeah.
Like he spent like $400 that year on
God,
fireworks.
I got the big.
So we got all this big giant, little mortar things. So we go out and it's like one of the triple mortars, like the one with like the 3 different little
Oh yeah,
Exactly
the
what you're
3-stage
talking
cherry
about,
bomb.
dude.
Let's go.
You had that?
So
Oh
we
my God.
had that, and we were interchanging like the mortar tubes because all of them, it drops down, but the packaging is just different for each one of them. Well, we dropped the triple mortar down, and I guess the tube was just a little bit too small.
Yeah.
So the weight of the triple mortar dropped down. It made it teeter-totter, and right as the fuse went in it fell over.
Oh shit.
Ooh, not a good time.
Yeah.
So like we looked, it was like it fell. Poof! And then,
Oh my God.
So it shot like a projectile.
It shot it out, and like one of the mortars went under somebody's car.
Yeah.
One went
man.
on somebody's like the car was the worst because it was just such a small space, and they shoot off, but then they also explode once they go up. So it literally sounded like a grenade, like somebody like threw a grenade. Like the whole neighborhood, because it was that much stuff to entertain the whole neighborhood of kids. Everybody just strikes out running. Like the one that blows up under the car, that made it that much more intense.
Yeah.
We're like diving in the grass. It's like a full war zone out there.
Dude, but that's gotta be fun too.
Man,
It did make it a lot funny.
there's nothing more American than like a dangerous 4th of July.
That's pretty American. That is
Yeah,
America.
I mean, like you guys have never lit a firework and seen how long you can let it go before you throw it.
Yeah,
you ever done that
and
with like
then
3 people and be
explode
like,
in
all
your
right, we're
hand.
gonna light them, see how long you can hold it.
And then every year they're warning you, this person chopped off his finger. His fingers blew off.
No,
Jason
my friends
Pierre-Paul.
My friends would like light it till it gets down to the end, and then throw it at you.
Yeah. So that's the end. It just blew up under the car and nothing eventful happened. It didn't start a fire or blow up the car.
Surprisingly, it did not set anything on fire. But after that, we did not pop any more fireworks. Everybody was done because it was like some random person's car. And I definitely believe it did damage to that dude's car.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's got to, dude. It's like whatever that is an explosive. Like,
you
it went off
you
underneath
see the
car.
explosions in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And like put that underneath a car.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to shatter windows. And, like,
Yeah.
God.
So my story is I went to rural Tennessee. I was out there, man. I'm talking there were no street signs there off of County Highway 451, stuff like that. I'm in a suburb of Union City, Tennessee.
Titties on the mind, dude.
So I'm in Union City, Tennessee, and like I'm talking like the guys I'm with are communicating like, "Hey, meet me by the strawberry patch by the propane tanks," and then like 6 trucks show up all at once, and I'm like, "How the hell do these guys know where they are?" They're like, "Are you by the big field or the small field?" Like, if I had a phone, I could not have gotten out of there with GPS. I didn't have GPS. We're in the sticks. We're lighting fireworks. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I find out we're going to move fields, and there might have been some alcohol involved in the situation.
Yeah.
And my one buddy decides that he's going to light a cherry bomb, very similar. He's got a 2-stage, not a 3-stage, but he's going to light it, and he's just going to throw it, and then we all going to run. It's like something they do in the country. And so my one friend was like, "I'll do it." And so shortly after this, he's about to throw it, and it's lit, and he goes to throw it, and he's pointing the wrong direction. So on one side of us is an open field. On the other side of us is about a 2-week about to harvest cotton field. If you know anything about natural cotton, it is, if you light it, that whole field will be on fire. It'll get to the next plant, to the next plant, to the next plant. So we're talking like it had to be $500,000 worth of cotton in this field that they're waiting to harvest. And my buddy lights it and he's like, should I throw it this way? And we're all like, no. And just the farmer goes, do it, man. I'll write the insurance check. I'll write it in there. And my buddy John P, we'll just call him John P for this story, literally took his fingers and went and did it like that right before it was about to go off. And he goes, I guess we won't light it then. But I almost watched a $500,000 acreage disaster in a small farm in Tennessee. And yeah, man, that was about it.
How old were you?
This was this was when I was in college, and I would have been a sophomore, so I'd have been like 20 or 21 at the time.
$500,000 just that hanging over your head.
$500,000 for probably a $50 firework, and we're just sitting there, and I just couldn't believe it happened. This is also the summer that Yeti coolers were a thing. So like, if you didn't have a Yeti cooler, you weren't cool, and they cost like $300. So
dude, it's ridiculous how much it costs.
You use it like once a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to.
But like people are obsessed with them because they're like, yeah, well, I like cold beer, and it's like, okay, me too, man. But I'm not like, I could buy that much ice in my lifetime. Like, it's not that. It's the thing like they don't want to go buy the ice and all that stuff. Keep your drinks.
Well, making up reasons to bring it.
Yeah,
I'm going to church, man. Bring the Yeti.
It's a cool looking cooler. Dude, it's a cool looking cooler.
I swear to God, I worked with this guy. The moment we got off work, he would go to the back of his truck. He would get a beer out of his cooler, then he'd drive home. I swear to God, every single day. And I'd be like, Todd, what's in that cooler? And he'd be like, nothing. Like that. And I'd be like, oh my God.
Dude, it was the postal workers in the 80s needed Yeti coolers.
Yeah, if you seen that video, Trey, they do a documentary where they reveal that like basically in the 80s and 90s before there were cell phones, people were just getting hammered at the post office parking lot.
Hard liquor. Like, they were just slamming it back.
Like they go to tip over the dumpster and they put a trash can in there, just take a sample, and it's like pint bottles, liquor bottles, beer cans.
And these are all postal workers. And they're just getting hammered before and after, probably during work too.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's a mini bar inside their cars. They're like, you're not supposed to be drinking. And the person's like obviously drinking. He's saying, I'm not drinking right now. What are you talking about? I'm on a job.
When you pop down the glove box,
God.
little mini to travel shots or something.
No, dude. But they weren't mini. They were like loaded. I don't know. I mean, I guess.
What's your 4th of July story, big boy?
My 4th of July story. It's mine's simple. My favorite 4th of July events were at. Do you remember Belleview?
Belleview Baptist Church.
Yeah, Bellevue Baptist Church. They had a huge parking lot in every single 4th of July.
The original Righteous Gemstones Church.
Original, dude. It is a huge.
Go
church.
on.
But whatever it was, they threw amazing events. The 4th of July, they would have. I remember the funnel cakes, the cotton candy, the corn dogs. It was just like
the salvation.
Yeah, the salvation. I don't know about the salvation. The glizzies.
The glizzies.
My love of glizzies started that.
You're a sucker for a corn dog. We can tell.
God's house.
How much did y'all contribute to that 150 million?
Oh, dude, at least a quarter. Looking at my gut right now, probably a lot.
All right, so you're at the Bellevue Church.
Yeah, no, it was just like an awesome event because it.
And who? Let's start. Who, what, where, when, why?
My mom, my brothers, my cousins. It was just like a whole event.
Squad.
The whole squad, the whole Punjabi squad would show up to the Bellevue Baptist Church.
Two Honda Siennas roll up,
dude, and it would just be. It'd be just us eating funnel cakes, enjoying the rides, or like whatever little carnival rides they had. Mm-hmm. And it was just like at the end when we're all like on sugar, like basically we're tired and we just like sit down in the grass and like watch the fireworks go off. Yeah. It was a nice event because it was like it really, I don't know what it's like now, but those events were huge back then. Everybody in the community showed up. And like, have you ever been to, you've probably been to one too. You know what I'm talking about.
The block party, the city fireworks show, where they have like the real big boy pyrotechnics. Like these people take time off LA to come do the fireworks and stuff like that.
It was amazing. It was awesome. I mean, of course, if it's like Righteous Gemstones, you better have a good fireworks show.
Yeah, I got to predict. By the time we have kids, I guarantee it'll be outlawed and they'll have drone shows and stuff like that. Dude, it's just so dangerous.
So lame,
every year, it's so dangerous.
That's so lame, right? It's not 4th of July without the fireworks.
I will say, if we're going to talk about 4th of July.
And our flag was still there.
We can't talk about 4th of July without talking about the 4th of July during COVID was one of the most crazy 4th of Julys because like everyone was like, I'm lighting fireworks at them. Like everyone was like, I gotta light fireworks. Everyone's home. Everyone's cooped up. If you Google LA 4th of July, the year of
that was a
COVID, and
war
you watch
zone.
it, it's like a war zone everywhere.
Yeah.
Those poor dogs.
They had ghetto homing missiles or something.
What is that?
It's basically like, okay, so I don't know, it probably altered the firework, and what it was like a homing missile. And the caption was a ghetto homing missile. They lit it. It goes up for maybe like, it goes up 10, 15 feet, then immediately like does a 90-degree angle and goes and hits another car. Like they were having like wars back and forth between streets.
Let's do a wrap up. Let's go through. I'll go first. What is your favorite firework? All right. So my favorite firework is actually the pinwheels, the ones where you got to put the nails on and they spin and they spin. That's my favorite firework. Either that or a UFO. A UFO is just, it flies up and spins like a UFO, and then it takes off in a random direction. It's it has to be one of the most dangerous fireworks ever made. You cannot control where a UFO goes. I love a UFO.
I loved firecrackers just because you could throw them and like run. Those were fun to throw because it was. I mean, of course, a couple went off on my hand, but it is just like watching somebody just throw right behind them real quick and just pops off. Yeah, it was fun for me.
Well, like you can break a toilet in half with an M80.
You can.
Yeah, you can put it in the porcelain, it will crack the porcelain right in half.
Dude, imagine that going off in your house.
What about you?
All right. So I almost said the little snakes.
No way. Stop.
The ones like, bro? Yes.
Dude, we were talking about that earlier. It's the joke firework because it's the worst firework.
No, but it's the worst fire. But it's like, when...
It's interesting once it
What's
gets going.
next? Brijesh, are you going to tell me you like smoke bombs?
Smoke bombs are fun too because it's like,
Little
okay...
poppets.
The poppets, you big poppet guy.
Dude, okay, once it was like around 7 o'clock, once you've already used up all the big ones, that's it. That's what you got.
Yeah, that's all the entertainment
You got to have fun
is.
with it. Like,
But no, I'll say like my favorite part are like the Black Cat bottle rockets.
Yep.
Because if you got good at playing with those things, you could like light it, hold the end of it, let it like, and then you throw it up at the last minute. It makes it go even further up. That
Yeah.
was always pretty cool.
I like those. I like the black cats, the ones that whistle like.
Yeah. Oh my god. But I was so
Those
annoying.
are annoying, but if you're doing it, it's cool. But like if someone buys like 20 of them in your neighborhood, you're gonna hear about it.
because that's all at like 12 o'clock when all the fireworks are done. Those are the only things going off. The whistles.
No,
Go ahead.
you know what's even crazy with them? Do you remember when you were young and they had the black cat roll and it's like 500 of the little black cats?
Yeah.
How bad those got over the years. Maybe when I was like maybe 17 or so.
Yeah.
And I got one of those. So disappointed because I just sat there and it's just loud and the whole time I'm just like, God, is it almost done?
I'm talking about the big roll.
$100.
See, my parents would be like, all right, July 5th, we're going to buy all the fireworks for next year because they're off sale after that. So you go and you get them off sale and then you hold them for a year and stuff. But then thinking about it, my parents just kept like a closet full of fireworks inside our house for years. And I never thought about it.
Are you crazy?
Dude,
Inside our
that's
house.
so smart. That's
We
so
were
smart.
we were rationing out our fireworks. Like it'll be like one week, like, all right, bro, we're gonna get only like 4 of them out.
All right.
We only got like 10 of them left.
My least favorite part of 4th of July is that somehow 4th of July has turned into like the last day of June through like a week after 4th of July. Like people will be lighting fireworks the entire time.
Yeah.
God, it's. Okay, it is. It's fun. 4th of July, whatever it is. I love celebrating it. What are you gonna do this year?
For sure.
For 4th of July,
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to grill a brisket.
Thank God.
I'm going to grill a brisket. Shout out.
Same. You're right. I'll be. There's really. I don't really feel the need to go anywhere to go watch fireworks. Grilling out sounds fun. Honestly, just just hanging out with friends.
I thought about going to Tunica, but it's. Have you guys ever been to Tunica for the 4th of
For
July?
anyone who
Not
doesn't
for-
know, Tunica is the casino.
Yeah, and that's
It's so bad getting down there. Like you have to go down there at like morning because if you go anywhere past like 2 p.m., you're going to spend the entire time, miss the entire fireworks show just trying to get a parking spot.
It is that bad.
It is
think we
really
tried
bad.
going to Tunica once. And I was like, it was the last time.
I missed it like 2 years in a row, and I had to watch it from the car, like out the window because I'm like waiting.
I hear a lot of typing. Is there anything that we have gotten wrong that you would like to talk about
you
before we
have-
wrap this up? And I'm going to pass you the microphone so we can hear what you say because on the recording we can't hear it.
Oh my god, I need to scroll up. There was something I wanted to fact check.
All right. Well, what's your
me.
what's your least favorite 4th of July?
Least favorite 4th of July.
Like stuff that goes on. Your least favorite. Thing.
it's the parking. Parking sucks. Going anywhere and like trying to find parking or trying to find space, that sucks. But other than that, it's like I think it's part like you have to suffer to have a good time. So it's
my least favorite part is the cleanup. The
cleanup
of all the
sucks.
fireworks.
Well, that's why you go to someone else's house. You find that out very quickly. Is there anything we got wrong?
You want to fact check me specifically? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Brijesh's sister. I'll remain anonymous.
She's
I wanted to
an influencer.
I wanted to fact check. Well, I'll just read this and then I'll say my opinion on it. So this is regarding the conversation you had about NATO and US contributions. Being European, I find it
offensive.
Interesting how US's involvement is always inflated.
Interesting is what women say when they do not like something. So like, how was the dinner I made? Interesting.
That would hurt me so much. Okay, let's hear it.
So, direct funding. This is exactly what ChatGPT says. NATO's combined civil and military budgets total around 4.6. NATO's combined civil and military budgets total around 4.6 billion for 2025. The United States contributes about 16.2% of that total. So that works out to be 0.75 billion for 2025. And I just find it interesting how whenever anyone talks about NATO and the US contributions, they always say it's nearly half the budget, but actually it's 16.2%.
Well, America makes Okay. Well, we're going to go for another hour. Here we go.
Well, I guess some of us were saying the right things and some of us were just making up percentages.
I was making up percentages. Dude, I got Daddy Trump on the head.
But to her point, that is what, the rhetoric of the current administration would say is everyone's got to pay their fair share. Well, no one's paying us. We're doing the whole thing.
Well, I guess it's easy to sell. Like, who's going to go fact check it? It's a lot easier. It goes in the back of your head, and it's like, oh, we're paying. Or that's another thing that America's wasting our tax money on. That's just another thing we add to the list. So thank you for fact checking me. I still think America pays for half.
If they don't want that to be the connotation, then don't call him daddy.
Yeah, Daddy did say we pay for half.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. This has been episode 17 of the Lucky Lotus podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You can find us on X, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, you said Spotify.
Facebook.
OnlyFans, Only Toes. Facebook. Dude, you go through all of them so quickly. Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube. And guys, like and subscribe on YouTube. Our 1,000th follower, we're going to take you to the Memphis Pyramid.
1,000th subscriber, ring that bell.
1,000 subscriber, and we're going to run a lottery and see who we get to go take to the pyramid.
We are going to pull it out live on the pod. And if you're not from in the Memphis area, we're not going to fly you out, but we will put you on Zoom. We will send you a rack of rendezvous ribs. We'll express mail through FedEx. Thank you, Fred Smith. All right, everybody. This has been episode 17. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.